Hello, everybody. This is Sneaky the Lost, and I'm lost. Well, actually, I'm in my test world for ShneekeyCraft 1.10.2, which is now available on the AT launcher as one of the main mod packs. So you don't need to put in a pack code, don't need to do anything. Just boot up AT launcher, search for ShneekeyCraft, and install. Um, Very lightweight pack, only 40 to 50 mods, depending on which mods you actually decide to use. It's got several optional mods. Forestry, Gendistry are optional. If you like using bees, you can do that. Don't like it? Don't worry about it. Right now, I'm kind of testing something that I have not yet included in the pack, the one probe. I've seen a couple of other packs like Resident Rise use it instead of Walia. And so I'm testing it out and seeing its viability and seeing what I can do here. May end up uh, using it instead. Uh, this is going to be kind of a uh, channel update post for me here, channel update video. You may notice I haven't been posting Stardew Valley in a while. When 1.1 was actually released, the nerf came with it, which kind of took a lot of people by surprise, myself included. Uh, Granted, some of the nerfs needed to happen, although probably not as severely, and nothing was really thrown in as a viable alternative. So it was just a straight up nerf. And typically my first response to something like that, just a flat up nerf, is okay. I'll go break something else even worse because I'm an ornery little git like that sometimes. Um, yeah, probably why I hung out on the char up boards for D&D. Came up with some very broken builds in 3.5, which wasn't really all that hard, all to be honest to admit. But that's neither here nor there. So I will be recording a Let's Play with a group of friends. Gord and I have been doing a lot of testing on this pack together. You may have seen it on his channel. I'll go ahead and link that below. You can check him out. He does a lot of different videos. Um, really cool guy. Does a lot of different games. His backlog is absolutely amazing. I will warn you. You can go in an archive dive for weeks in his archive. Just a phenomenal guy, very very prolific poster. Less so these days now that he's got a little one. Um, you know, Babies have a tendency to do that. You got to take care of your kids first, obviously. But still a very prolific poster guy, really cool guy. We're going to be doing a pack together. He's going to have a couple of his friends. Maybe his wife will be joining us, baby permitting, of course. You know, they obviously have to come first. Um, so let's talk about this pack a bit. Very very minimalistic pack, between 40 and 50 mods, depending on which optional mods you decide to include. Um, have not decided whether or not to include the one probe or not. I'm still testing that in my dev environment, so that is not a live option as of the release, or at least as of the recording of this video. That may change. You also may notice this thing over here and wondering what's going on with these trees. This is actually a bog standard forest biome, because I have a mod called Realistic Terrain Generation. And it does things like this. It makes trees actually impressive looking. You should see the roofed forest. It is freaking amazing. It is awesome. And very dangerous because it still, makes things dark enough for mobs to spawn in it. Pam's Harvest Craft, you'll notice, is included in this pack. However, as of the recording of this video, Hunger Overhaul and AgroCraft are still in development and do not have a release version yet. They are in active development, but not yet. This is something that comes from the Ruins mod, which basically takes a template and will post things around. That rock spire over there is another one from the same mod, Ruins. There are several things that Ruins mod does. There's one that it does that has like 8 zombie spawners on a ruin of a building. Looks like maybe a ruins of a church or something that can be used to set up an old school mob grinder. Before we had spawners and auto spawners and things like that, we did this thing where you'd find a dungeon, which was awesome, and then you'd like create a trap around that spawner in the world. Yeah, I know it's been a few years since anybody's probably actually done something like that, but hey, um, definitely something interesting because blood magic is also going to be definitely a thing in this pack. Uh, Kind of actually why I'm considering doing the one pro, just so that you've got the information that you need for doing your blood magic. Um, so it gives more verbose information than Walia does, and Walia doesn't really have all of the add-ons that it used to, and a lot of that functionality has been taken over by the One Pro, which is why I'm trying it out, seeing what I could do. Um, the Origin mod that I've been waiting on has not yet come out. They've run into some developmental snafus, and so they're having to rethink some pretty fundamental things. So that's still not going to be a thing that's going to happen anytime soon. So rather than hold up the whole pack, I'm just going to release as is now. Now, you really don't have to worry about getting multiple types of ores because, again, I've only got about 40 mods. So, really, I mean, other than copper, I mean, forestry is an optional mod. It does have copper in it, and so does immersive engineering, which, as you can see, I've got a industrial hemp seed for production of seed oil and tough fabric, not intended for human consumption. Okay, we're clear on that. Okay, good. So, that copper is really the only one that had any kind of a duplicate to begin with. So I just disabled copper generation from forestry, and you can just use immersive engineering copper for everything you need, and done. Now, when that Origin mod does come out, I will be using it and creating some really interesting ore spawns. Uh, for example, Deep Resonance, which is also a mod that's in this pack, will start spawning their crystals and their ores in geodes. And so you'll see a crust of the resonant ore, or resonating ore, and then maybe one or two resonating crystals inside the geode with a lot of space in the middle. So that's going to be a thing. Might also change how diamonds and emeralds spawn, spawning them primarily in obsidian encrusted geodes. That way, you actually have to get something that can break through obsidian to be able to get to the shiny things inside, um, which you can easily do. I've got Tinker's Construct. It's got a redesigned tech tree to it, so you should be able to get into it without any problems. I wasn't able to have many problems when I was doing my testing, so should definitely be viable. But unfortunately, that's going to be put on hold until that mod releases. I almost wish COFH the crew was able to do updates, but unfortunately, to this date they have not indicated that they are going to. That's not to say that they won't ever, but right now they've not made any indications that they are going to update at any point. Of course, King Lemming. I suppose we should call him Dr. Lemming now. He's working on his PhD. Of course, is rather busy in academia. And of course, the the mods that he built was really to teach himself Java coding to begin with, and since I definitely say mission accomplished there, you know, it's up in the air as to whether or not he will ever decide to continue modding. If he does, awesome, great. If not, well, thank you for all of the amazing concepts that you brought to the modding community and the contributions you made to the community as a whole, and we wish you luck in your endeavors. The rest of the COFH crew, um, of course, you got to take care of real life before this kind of stuff. So, if they do decide to update, awesome. Just some amazing concepts there. Um, you've got, I mean, the COFH core is one of the best Origin mods I've ever seen. COFH Foundation is a great library type mod, or dictionary kind of mod. Thermal Dynamics was pretty much the most amazing transportation mod I have ever seen. Uh, I feel it really went back to Red Power 2. I don't know who here is able to remember playing with that. Maybe if you are watching somebody doing the FTB Retro Pack, um, a couple of major mod guys are doing those. Direwolf 20's doing one. Red Power 2 had these tubes that were pretty amazing. They pretty much kicked Buildcraft pipes to the curb and was really the first mod to compete with Buildcraft pipes for transportation. And I like them because it had default logic. It didn't dump stuff out into the world. It was just a better pipe. And of course, in exchange, it was more expensive. It required brass to make. Thermal dynamics definitely went along that same vein. You can still see items zipping through there, so you can have that lovely steampunk vibe of seeing items in liquids shooting around all over the place, flowing through pipes. Um, so you get that sense of satisfaction of just seeing everything moving around, but at the same time, very logically done. And really, thermal dynamics had everything that logistics pipes had. The retrievers, the Signalum and higher tier retrievers, um, were your supplier pipe functionality, where keep X in inventory at any given time. Um, the rest of the functionality was done with the various filters, retrievers, and servos. Very, very well designed, very well done, an amazing conceptology, one that I wish would be reintroduced in 1.10.2. Because right now the only thing we really have is Ender IO conduits, which are nice, but maybe a little too nice, and you don't get the satisfaction of seeing them zip around all over the place. You also don't have to deal with the hassles of, okay, how am I going to stick 7 pipes in one block? Because you could just run them all in the same block with the conduits. But you've got to have power and item and fluid transportation somehow, so Ender IO is it. I do have another mod. Hang on, yeah, here we go. Refined storage. Basically, it goes back to AE1 for a lot of things, which is pretty awesome. Um, I'm gonna pretty much use that for my logistics networking kind of stuff. Um, but um, but yeah, if there is somebody out there who wants to update COFH core, thermal foundation, and dynamics, would be very, very, very appreciated. That would be awesome. That would be amazing. Because Buildcraft just doesn't really add up for me these days. It's just not something I'm interested in anymore. I mean, back in the day, it was like, you get mod loader and MLMP, and then Forge, which was just a library at that point, and then you put in Industrial Craft and Buildcraft, and then you thought about whatever else add-ons you wanted to throw onto those two. That was how you did it back in the day. Not so much anymore. Um, but yeah, that would be an awesome mod if somebody could do that, just because of how elegant the design was. Um, we also have them to thank for RF, which is pretty much the end all be all to go for power these days, just because it's an elegant system, very resource friendly system. Really amazing. In fact, I believe Forge has actually now created a an energy API heavily influenced by RF that mod authors can now use without needing a whole different API to be able to plug into Redstone Flux. So awesome. I mean, just the impact that they have had to the mining community is just amazing, and definitely something to respect. So I've been gassing on here for a while now. um, but expect to see episodes of Let's Play ShneekeyCraft with the with Gord and Kate and crew. Should have like 4 or 5 people on, so should be pretty awesome. Um, and we'll probably be doing Stardew Valley. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do for Stardew Valley for video purposes. I wanted to give myself a chance to cool off because I was kind of a little hot under the collar when the nerf happened. Just kind of, oh yeah, by the way, nerf. And I'm like, really? Okay. So Ancient Fruit sucks now. It's almost not worth bothering with anymore, to be honest with you. Um, Blueberries are not worth bothering with anymore. Cranberries are barely worth bothering with anymore. Um, so kind of need to rethink a few strategies and kind of not get so um, irate about some of the things. But been doing some theory crafting on that. I've got some ideas to do something to make some entertaining video because, yes, I mean fishing is just the number one thing to do during the first spring to get tons and tons and tons of cash. But it makes for a very boring video and not something I really want to inflict on people. So kind of working with a handicap there. But I've got some ideas. I'll probably do the forest farm. It seems like a nice balance, a nice mix, something to do, a little bit different. But yeah, so expect to see Minecraft. Possibly expect to see a different series of Stardew Valley. I don't know if I'm going to continue with the one that I've got because I was doing that before 1.1 came in and made the whole strategy pretty much non-viable. So that's going to be it for now. So this is Shneeky the Lost signing off.